at 24 years old, who I was and what made me happy was worked every day. I loved the holidays because I was in retail and that's when I worked the hardest. Right? So like I didn't have Saturdays off like everybody else. I didn't have holidays off like anybody else. So I didn't grow up in a culture where I even understood what the weekend and holidays were, because that's when I was the busiest. I'm a boy of retail. So, you know, like the answer to your question, whatever the fucking makes you happy at that point. And if you're at 26 right now and you need to prove to the world, and most importantly yourself, that you're gonna fucking do it, like fucking work every minute of the holidays. If you're 31 and you worked 7 years of your life to get to a place and you just had your first child, go fucking spend 3 weeks and see every relative so they can rub little Johnny's head. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't have a point of view. My point of view is know yourself, figure yourself out, and don't do it for anybody else.
I love that.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's very, who you trying to, I hate when people are like, yo, Gary Vee, been on a bender 9 days in a row, haven't fucking slept. I reply all the time, like, don't do it for me. And definitely fucking sleep. Like, you know, for me, the thing that's going to allow me to win the next half century, and this is just the beginning, and I will not burn out like people are waiting for me to do, is I'm happy. People are confused. I hate that people are pushing too hard against hard work right now. It's ideological. Hard work is part of the equation. I hate when people work hard for 10, 15 years, make a lot of money, and then start telling everybody else to just sleep and meditate.
Yeah, get out, yeah.
I'm like, cool, but don't be fucking ideological. Like, tell your truth. Like, you worked. I was there, I watched you. So like, now you made it and you're a big shot. Like, be careful. Like, don't be a hypocrite.
Do you feel like each one of your successes almost fuels that ethic to keep going?
No.
No?
Because the success is the game itself. Back to the process.
Yep.
You know, like, I don't need the W's. I like the L's, I like the W's. I think of it, you know what's weird? I don't know why this is the analogy. I think of it like pickup basketball. Like in college, I loved pickup basketball so much. I was in a hoodie college, so all these kids were 10 times better than me, so my game got much better, and it was real fucking trash talk, which I love. I just loved it. Like, going out and getting beat 11-0 was amazing because I was so pissed and wanted to win the next.
Yeah, that taste.
And winning 11-0 was the best because you like, and that is kind of how I think about what I do. K-Swiss, the wine thing, VaynerMedia, this talent thing you're bringing up. I've got all sorts of things coming up, and there's gonna be wins and losses. There's just gonna be wins and losses. I mean, I've got a little one. Like, I remember there was a sampling division that we had at Vayner Sampling. It was supposed to be the biggest thing ever. Failed quick, 2 minutes in.
Music sampling?
No, product sampling.
Okay.
Like, a new Twix flavor comes out, get 50,000 people to try it. Just didn't work. I love that. I'm glad I took that L. And I wish people loved their game, their process. And I think people, the reason I like the pickup basketball one, whether it's running, a lot of people like to run. I hate to run, but like D-Rock just ran a marathon, big shout out. Like,
oh yeah?
You know, yeah. So like, if I could get people to think about their careers, the way they feel about waking up in the morning and running for that hour, where they clear their stress, they love it. I hate running, so that doesn't work for me. But like, for me, working is the happy place. And I want that for everybody, because the big thing is I don't think people have really quantified how many hours of their adult life is actually working. Like, think about how much work takes up the time that you're awake. So a lot of people are like, oh, I worked 9 hours a day. I'm like, yeah, but you also sleep 9 hours a day. So that means you work 9 hours a day, and then everything else you do while you're awake is only 6 hours. Travel, shower, like, work is a lot of your life. Fuck, man, do I want you to want to like it and live it and like enjoy it. It's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
Like, even if you work 9 to 5, if you work 8 hours a day and you sleep 8 hours a day, that means work is 50% of every hour of your whole day for 40 years of your life. Like, why the fuck are you doing something you hate? Make less money, buy less fancy shit, and be happy. Like, literally, people are miserable because of an extra room in their house.
I think it's the comfort, though. People are comfortable. They don't want to change it up.
Yeah, but you know what? I think it's that people buy shit they don't need and then have to work a job they hate to pay for the shit they don't need.
To impress people they don't like.
I hate that shit. It fucks me heavy, which is how I got to the Joneses, which is how I got to don't worry about other people's judgment. You know, now, especially because of Instagram, back to your point, like what happened for me, the other thing is, if you're 22, 18, 25, 30, and you think you should have your whole life figured out, that's ludicrous. But that's what every single 30.
I feel it too.
Of course, especially because 30's coming.
Yeah.
And 30's a motherfucker.
Any advice?
Fuck 30. Yes, there's a lot of advice. I would fucking rip both my legs off to be 30. That's how young 30 is.
Yeah.
If you could give me 13 years back right now, man, I would fucking give it all up. You don't need to, I can have 0 followers on every platform. Let me just start. Like, what I would say is this. You'll never believe what 43 feels like. It feels like 29. I actually think I have more energy and happiness and youth at 43 than I did at 29.
Well, it's crazy because I feel like I've done more this year being 29 than I've done from 20 to 25.
That's great.
You know, like, no,
well, that makes sense.
I feel it. Like,
well, from 20 to like 18 to 20, like people don't do that much shit. Like most people don't, right? Like, yeah, that makes sense. That makes me happy, dude. That means that you're going down a smart path. I just wish people realized how young they were, including 57. Like, it's just young. Like, you're probably gonna have 20 years of productive life. People are just like, don't know how to put time in perspective. They're super like passive day to day, but they're antsy year to year. It just makes no sense.
Did you always have this perspective?
I think so. And I do believe a little bit in the old soul kind of shit. Like, because one thing fucks with me. I don't understand why I did this, but this is real. I would hang out with grandparents like you would not believe. Like back in the 80s in like Jersey, playing outside, grandparents would travel up from Florida and visit or some shit. And for no reason, we're like playing wiffle ball or basketball. I would just stop and go sit down with like a friend's grandpa and be like, tell me what it was like when the man landed on the moon. I liked history and I liked context. Like, where were you when JFK, I was obsessed with the JFK assassination from like 1st to 9th grade. I was like, where were you when JFK got assassinated? Like, tell me about Vietnam. And like, did you like Reagan? Like was really fascinated. I just always gravitated towards very old people. And yeah, I'm an old soul for sure in a very high energy body, right? I'm a really interesting contradiction. I'm so patient. I'm such a marathon runner, but nobody who's been listening to this, who's discovering me the first time through your world, would ever think that, because the energy of my communication feels, you know, half the people think I'm on coke.
Well, that's why that's why I was so drawn to you, you know, because like I said, you know, I'm like this. So to be able to be digesting something and be thoroughly entertained, and not only, but to actually, you know, walk away with knowledge, with a gem. That's important. I feel like you don't come across that every day.
No, and I mean, I think that's why I am who I am. Like,
yeah.
People are like, yo, I want to be like you. I'm like, cool. Like, first, get lucky as fuck on like DNA. Second, have a 20-year career of doing shit without saying a word, so you actually have skills and perspective and wisdom. Third, be disproportionately empathetic to your audience and want them to get off, not what are you gonna get out of them, which is 99% of people's. Everyone's like, give me likes. I'm like, why don't you put out some content that gives you likes? Like, people are like, Gary Vee, I want more followers. I'm like, earn them. Like the entitlement, like, yo, I took a cool picture on a sunset. So did 9 million people in the last hour. Even being hot doesn't count anymore, because between filters and angles, everyone's fucking attractive on Instagram.
Everyone's hot.
Everyone's hot. That's fucked up everything.
You used to be able to rely on that shit. Ride it out as long as you till 50.
Yeah, if you were really good looking in the 90s and early 2000s, you were set. Instagram fucked it up. Everyone's attractive.
Oh man. What draws you in?
People that are obsessed with the process, not the shit that the fucking game buys you.
Not the cars, not the shoes, but the actual process.
Because then you're finished, right? Like, if you actually want from the off-whites to the fucking mansion, to the private planes, to the spa treatments, to the girls, to the red carpet, to the dresses and gowns, the jewelry, then you don't have a long career. But if you can't breathe, like, that's why entrepreneurship is so weird to me. I so couldn't breathe that I wasn't even capable of getting C's in high school because I would suffocate giving school even another second of not me being in my own head of how to sell wine or baseball cards. I'm looking for people who can't breathe if they're not singing, who can't breathe if they're not designing, who can't breathe if they're not building a business or playing on the field. Like, do you know how many athletes hate their sport? A lot. It's a brain fuck, because as a kid, you'd never believe it, but like, especially if you think about it, if you're born gifted and you're 6'8" and can run like a gazelle, and that's your ticket out, or even if it's not a ticket out, even if you're in a middle class family, it's like, that's how you can make $7 million a year, you're going.
Yep.
But it's been interesting as I've met a lot of these athletes who don't love their sport. They're not
that's
happy.
when it becomes a job.
They're just not happy. And I'm looking for people who are happy. Like, I'm obsessed with my process. You know, somebody very big time, I don't want to put him on blast, but like an 70-year-old dude, big time dude, said, you're so unusual, because he knows a little bit more of my story. He's like, you're an entrepreneur that's really not driven by the economics. And I was proud when he said it. And he said it 50-50, like kind, but like, hey, be careful. Like, it's important you don't feel regret that you left that much money on the table. And I do think about that. He came from a smart place, but the answer is people who can't breathe if they're not doing their art. And for me, business is my art. And for other people, it's art. Other people, it's designing. Other people, it's performing on stage. I need somebody who's obsessed with their craft and would be doing it for free, quote unquote.
No matter what.
No matter what. And I think right now, entrepreneurship is littered with club promoters because it got cool. And
yeah, I mean, they watch Gary Vee videos and they're like, I want to do this.
I get it, but it wasn't my videos. Like I was making the videos, nobody thought it was cool. It got cool because Facebook made $1 billion and everyone's like, fuck, that nerd, 24 years old, making $1 billion, I want $1 billion, right? And here's the other thing. You know why entrepreneurship is sneaky? If you're a rapper or an athlete, and that's cool, and you can get the girl if you do that, you gotta prove it. Like if somebody rolls up and is like, yo, I'm a rapper, you kind of want to know if they have a song that's popular.
Like, well, do you have a song that I've heard? Are you on the radio?
If somebody's like, yo, I'm a basketball player, you're like, are you in the league or do you like play at the YMCA? But anybody can say they're an entrepreneur and it was like, oh, dope. And I'm curious, are you a successful entrepreneur? And that's why entrepreneurship, people don't get it. Entrepreneurship is set for people that suck. Because you put it nicely in your Instagram profile and you're in the game.
It's the perfect cover.
It's the perfect cover. You can't say you're a rapper or an athlete and get away with it. You get laughed at because you haven't done anything. But entrepreneurship right now is very nice and safe. So you're cool. You get to go to the club and be like, entrepreneur, startup founder. I got a clothing brand. Yeah, but there's a big difference between you and your buddies printing 30 t-shirts and being fucking supreme.
Yeah.
It's that moment right now, and that's why it's gonna be a huge and painful bubble burst when shit hits the fan, because a lot of people are gonna have to go and get jobs.
When Instagram goes down, or when
the economy goes, man, listen, Instagram doesn't have to go down for when the economy goes down, when all those companies don't have money for you to take that cute picture on your Instagram profile and you're not getting paid anymore. Like, what do you think happens? And this is why I try to I'm not saying this to be negative, I'm saying be smart. If you're lucky enough now to be a travel vlogger, personality, like the Bali resort is not gonna pay you $5,000 to come and take a picture on their beach when they're not selling packages. And so, yeah, I want to make sure people are thoughtful, because right now it's a little too frothy.
Well, it sounds like you're talking about going all in on yourself.
Practicality. Practicality needs to become sexy.